isotopes, iridium, and substance. So let's get started with glacial deposits. In this slide, we can see a global distribution of the glacial deposits and BIFs, which we'll get to in a second, of the Sturtian and Marinoan glaciations respectively. All the yellow dots are the glacial deposits. The red dots are banded iron formations, which we'll get to in the next slide. But first, we need to discuss what these glacial deposits are associated with and how that's important. So first, the association of glacial and glacial-marine deposits with carbonate successions, which typically occur in the warmest parts of the ocean, is important because this is emphasizing that glaciers were at the warmest parts on Earth and the warmest parts in the ocean. And if they're there, they're everywhere. Additionally, deposition of glacial and glacial-marine strata close to the paleo-equator, where the equator would have been back then, during not only the Marinoan and the Sturtian glaciations, but also the Mackinac glaciation, that old one we talked about 2.1 billion years ago. That distribution of glaciers near the equator is really important evidence for having glaciers literally everywhere on Earth at the time. And this comes from really robust paleomagnetic data. Now, I am no expert in paleomagnetic data, so I'm not going to get into that. But if you want to look into it on your own, there's a link in my description for a website that basically is all about snowball Earth, and they talk about paleomagnetic data and paleomagnetic evidence for snowball Earth events quite a bit in that website, so you can check that out. However, the main two things I want to point out for this glacial deposit evidence is that both the association with carbonates and the distribution near the paleo-equator emphasize the global extent of these glaciations. If you do want to know more about what glacial-marine means and how glacial-marine deposition takes place, you can watch my video over glacial-marine deposition for more on that. Moving on to banded iron formations, or what we saw in the previous slide were the red dots called BIFs. BIF deposits were really important for the Great Oxidation Event, which I talk a lot about in the Great Oxidation Event video, which you can check out. I'll put it right here for you. However, these BIFs were also important during these snowball Earth events. BIFs, which were formed after 1.9 billion years ago, are exclusively associated with glacial-marine strata, which we can see in the bottom pictures here. These are banded iron formations with huge drop stones in them, indicating their association with glacial deposits. Additionally, their deposition in the first place is indicative of widespread anoxia consistent with an ice-covered ocean. So oxygen-depleted oceans would occur in an ice-covered regime, because we typically assume that the ice cover is hindering photosynthetic processes in the surface ocean, causing oxygen to become depleted over time during these snowball Earth events. Additionally, a shift in hydrothermal regime is thought to have contributed to these banded iron formations as well, because an increase in hydrothermal activity relative to continental weathering, which would have decreased or totally stopped during these periods, would have caused an increased concentration of iron in the ocean, contributing to the deposition of these banded iron formations. The next piece of evidence we have is capped carbonates. Deposition of post-glacial capped carbonates on continental margins and inland seas after the Sturtian and Marinoan glaciations have been interpreted to be due to the greenhouse aftermath of the snowball Earths. We can see in this picture step by step what might have happened during these two major snowball Earth events, and this includes the first picture where we have complete ice cover, and then we have the second, which is the beginning of the meltdown period, where warming and meltwater production causes hyperstratified ocean conditions during the end of these snowball Earth events, and then huge sea level rise due to not only ice melting but also increased mid-ocean ridge spreading. And this sea level rise caused huge carbonate shelf production and deposition of carbonates, as well as transgression of apheric seas, in which more carbonates were deposited on top of all the glacial strata. Here's a picture similar to the one we saw in the previous slide of BIFs, where we have these lower glacial sediments with drop stones and everything, indicating glacial meltdown stage and deposition during the end of these snowball events. And then we have the carbonate sediments capping all of these glacial sediments. Getting into the geochemical evidence, we have a couple different isotope systems we'll talk about, but the main one is carbon isotopes. Carbon isotope ratios in these capped carbonates that were deposited following these glaciation events decrease dramatically. This drop in carbon isotope ratios is seen in this graph right after the Sturtian glaciation and right after the Marinoan glaciation, and these drops are due to an abrupt increase in respiration and methane hydrate melting. I talk a lot more about carbon isotope fractionation information in my carbon isotopes video, as well as the biogeochemical cycles part 1 video if you want to check that out. But basically, photosynthetic processes as well as biological methanogenic processes cause the uptake of lighter carbon isotopes, and so when these are all released due to respiration or oxidation of organic carbon, as well as methane hydrate melting and being released back into the atmosphere, all of this light carbon is being released into the atmosphere, causing these huge drops in the carbon isotope composition during this abrupt warming period following these glaciations. The other isotope system we'll talk about for snowball Earth evidence is boron isotopes. Boron isotope ratios in the carbonates deposited before and after the Marinoan glaciation are shown in this graph. As we can see, there was a sharp decrease in boron isotope ratio directly following the glaciation event, and this can be interpreted in a couple ways. Typically, continental weathering lowers the boron isotope ratios of carbonates, and hydrothermal exchange raises it. Therefore, the boron isotope composition of seawater is expected to rise during the snowball Earth event. However, the boron isotope composition did not rise. In fact, it decreased, and this has been thought to be due to a large decrease in seawater pH, which would be consistent with a large increase in CO2, which would also be consistent with glaciation. So this can be interpreted in a couple ways, and typically people have interpreted this huge drop as it being due to the decrease in pH. The last bit of geochemical evidence that we're going to talk about for these snowball Earth events is iridium. Iridium is an element that we probably have all heard has to do with the dino extinction event. Basically, the KT boundary or the KT extinction event in the rock record, we see a global layer of iridium with high enough concentrations that we know there was an asteroid impact, and we actually know where the impact occurred, and we found the crater. We have all this evidence for extraterrestrial impact that caused that layer of iridium found at the KT boundary. However, there is an iridium layer also found in association with these glaciation events. As we can see in these spikes on these two graphs, this iridium is found at the base of the Sturgeon and Marinoan cap carbonates. Right after the glaciation event, there's this global iridium current, and this is not necessarily due to an asteroid impact. Actually, this extraterrestrial dust, per se, or space dust, if you will, is allowed to accumulate for millions of years during these periods of glaciation because the Earth is covered with ice. And so this actually normal phenomenon of space dust accumulating would typically go pretty much unnoticed in the rock record because the concentrations would remain pretty low and continuously be depositing in the rock record. However, when you have this period of glaciation, the iridium accumulates on top and within the ice, and then upon deglaciation is finally allowed to become released and deposited in the rock record. And the amount of iridium that built up in the ice before it was finally able to release upon deglaciation actually gives a good estimate for how long the glaciation events lasted. Based on the rate at which extraterrestrial dust accumulates on Earth during the last 65 million years, or over the course of the Cenozoic era, this would suggest that the glaciation lasted at least 12 million years. The last piece of evidence we'll be going over for these snowball Earth events is subsidence. Deep flooding of previous shallow water shelves and platforms after the Sturgeon and Marinoan meltdowns, meaning after everything melted away and the warming began, suggests tectonic subsidence due to having been covered in ice for millions of years. This is typical because you would expect subsidence after millions of years covered in glaciers. I mean, we already know that glaciers are strong enough forces to carve valleys, to cause depressions in continental crust that later become filled with lakes, etc. So I feel like this subsidence piece of evidence that we see after these glaciation periods is pretty much to be expected. So now that we've gone over what snowball Earth is, or what people are referring to when they say snowball Earth, and when these snowball Earth events occurred and why they occurred, what kicked these events off, and what our evidence is, or at least the evidence I've shared in this video, I want to stress that there are a lot of other lines of geochemical and geophysical and biological evidence that I just haven't gotten into because of the time of this video, but I think I hit the main ones. So now we can move on to what ended these events and how it changed the environment as well as biology. species. So what ended these events? We talked about in the beginning how weathering is a carbon sink and volcanic emissions acts as a carbon source. So because weathering is slow during glaciations while volcanic CO2 emissions is not affected really, this can cause CO2 to build up over millions of years during these glaciation events, causing an extreme greenhouse effect directly following the snowball Earth events. Another major factor that contributed to the extreme warming effect that followed the glaciation events is the positive albedo effect that we talked about earlier. This positive feedback does not only operate in the direction of increasing cooling, it can also work in reverse. When the ice melts, it decreases Earth's albedo and continuously compounds that warming effect. So that also contributed to extreme greenhouse climate following the snowball Earth events. The last major factor that contributed to the end of these snowball Earths is increased hydrothermal activity. This was likely due to the increased seepage spreading rate at the ridges, which also was a contributing factor to abrupt sea level rise in addition to the melting of the glaciers, which also caused sea level rise. And this, like we mentioned earlier, contributed to the deposition of carbonates which overlie these glacial deposits. So now the question we're all wondering, what about biology? And what was it at the beginning that you changed the title to, Rachel? Oh yeah, slushfall Earth. Why did you mention that? You haven't talked about it at all. Well, here's where it comes into play. There's some geological and geophysical evidence that suggests that maybe Earth wasn't completely covered in ice, and maybe the hydrologic system is still running a little bit, suggesting more of a slush ball Earth than a snowball Earth. The major line of evidence that suggests that it was more of a slush ball than a snowball is biology. The fact that biology got through these events really supports the idea of slush ball rather than snowball. Either that, or there was thin ice that allowed sunlight through and photosynthesis to continue, or life could have lived on top of the ice, and this is not unheard of. There is bacteria that can live in snow and ice today, so that is possible, but it's still largely unknown which one of these or all three of these conditions were present on Earth at this time. Slush ball, thin ice, or life on top of the ice. But the other thing to ask ourselves about biology and snowball Earth is, didn't biology totally benefit from this situation? It not only survived, but the timing of these snowball Earth events lined up with some major evolutionary advances directly following these events. So were they beneficial, and how did that work? Well, the timing does suggest that eukaryotes evolved directly after or even during the Macedonian glaciation about 40.1 billion years ago, and that multicellular macroscopic animal life evolved directly after the Sturgeon and Marino and snowball Earth events. So I already discussed endosymbiosis and evolution of eukaryotic life in my origin video if you want to check that out. And for that reason, in this video, I'm going to be focusing mainly on the evolution of multicellular life and how that's thought to be associated with snowball Earth. So these glaciation events caused the extinction of many of the species that were living during this time, forcing a handful of individual organisms to become dependent on one another, meaning that single cells gave up their reproduction ability to gain more specialized functions, basically lending themselves and their entire purpose to their colony of cells that they've now clumped up with to get through this period, rather than only caring about themselves and surviving on their own, because they needed each other. And this is called kin selection. We can see in the picture to the bottom right that we have a single-celled protist shown in this step 1 of this diagram, and then we have a colony of single-celled organisms start to form, and then this colony starts to depend on each other, and their functions begin to evolve and work for the greater good of their colony rather than just themselves. And so some cells lose their reproduction ability and gain more specific functions that will help the colony, but in doing so they cannot survive any longer on their own. And this kicks off multicellular evolution. This has actually been reproduced in the lab. As we can see on the bottom left, we have these real-life microscopic images of these single-celled organisms that over the course of just a couple weeks in strained conditions become a colony of cells that will eventually lead to multicellular life that can no longer separate its cells and reproduce individually. So to recap these major snow or slush ball events, we have the Macedonian on the left side of this slide occurring around 2.4 to 2.1 billion years ago. Then we have over a billion years go by to the Sturtian and Marian glaciations around 716 million years ago, and again at around 635 million years ago. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about snowball Earth. I think it's one of the coolest periods in Earth's history that really emphasizes that we are living in this one time, and maybe at other times in Earth's history, all the ice-covered worlds we know about were actually flourishing, or maybe they'll evolve to begin flourishing and life will be as abundant, if not more abundant, in those places through different periods in the cosmos. You just never know, and it's so cool for me to think about. I'm always so excited about research with astrobiological implications, so I just think studying snowball organisms on Earth and how it affects the climate and biology especially is super, super cool and important in our search for extraterrestrial life, as well as our ability to project climate on Earth itself and to build a better future for ourselves. So with that, thank you guys again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. No, I don't want to say that. I keep doing things with my hands, but you can only see like my fingers.
Play of the game.
I was afraid of this. No sector is it.
World map initiated. I will report global threats here.
Time to save the world? Game on! Really fun.
was afraid of it.
I've compiled all relevant communications on this screen, Winston. World map initiated. I will report global threats here.
With a bit of a twist. it's not the humans. Hello InfoPerson, this is Anton, and today we're going to be discussing a somewhat intriguing discovery that I guess not a lot of people expected in regards to methane. One of the most common and also one of the most potent greenhouse gases. But before we talk about what was discovered in the recent study and what all of this means, I actually wanted to start with a bit of an explanation in regards to planet Earth and the cycles of glaciation. The cycles that basically once in a while create these really large ice sheets, much larger than anything we have right now, covering a large part of the planet. And although normally in the
Hello? Is anyone out there? Alright, let me adjust this.
Ah, there. That should do it. God, I haven't used this frequency since the grid shut down. My name's Iggy. I'm broadcasting live from a bunker in King's Row. Null sector has us surrounded. If you hear this, yeah, find the access terminal in the underworld. We're counting on you.
Let's go!
I was afraid of this. No.
World map initiated. I will report global threats here.
Hello? Is anyone out there? Alright, let me adjust this.
Ah, there. That should do it. God, I haven't used this frequency since the grid shut down. My name's Iggy. I'm broadcasting live from a bunker in King's Row. Null sector has us surrounded. If you hear this, yeah, find the access terminal in the underworld. We're counting on you. There should be a TS-1 robot stationed near the warehouse. It was decommissioned ages ago, but if you can get it online, it has enough firepower to help take down Null sector.
Null sector reinforcements!
the robot up ahead. Looks like null sector's guarding it. Clear them out. That jump jet's got a battery. You can use it to power the robot. You've done it! Repairs should be starting, well, now. Looks like it's gonna need more batteries. We Omnics have power sources stashed all over the road. See what you can find.
Ready for another wave! Knocked you off your feet!
Hold your peace.
Repairs at 33%. Yeah, wow, that doesn't sound like a lot. You know, I'll update when the numbers are more encouraging.
Activating basic cognition systems.
Power sources!
That's a being two on that.
Oh no! Look at us go!
Gotcha.
Turning in.
I would not want to be the repair station.
Resisting. Out.
Taking off. Scatter.
No sectors dropping in.
New target incoming.
Oh, let's break it! Damn!
The power progress is at 66%. Its motor functions are starting up. Keep collecting those batteries.
Telemetrics online. Vast enemy presence detected.
Don't let this sneak us through. Let's hook 'em up.
Watch out for more battery thieves.
Lots of chance.
How's that for combat effectiveness?
Keep fighting power sources!
Use the boat to repair station.
The repair station is under fire.
Let's damn it.
Charge it.
A success.
Get in there, Bob.
Reach ahead and straight for the
Delivery complete. Shoot her! Shoot her now! Stalker dealt with.
Keep those batteries coming!
Watch what that stalker is doing. We lost one. Hold together.
They got me good.
Get our teammate back in the fight. Stalker dealt with.
Not my problem anymore.
Here they come.
Tell the devil I said howdy. Rally to me! And that's what I've learned.
We've done it! Lizzie's going to establish a connection so we can control her remotely. Control link established. Follow the TS1 robot, it will lead you right to us.
What is it now? Deep end of the battlefield.
Incoming artillery behind. We have a teammate down. Back out there.
Last thing we need is an access card. Keep an eye out. One of these units might be carrying one. We have a support unit. Bring that keycard to the terminal. We're ready when you are. That's it! Thanks for keeping us all out of Null Sector's hands. We owe you big time.
I was afraid of this. Null Sector is attacking cities all over the globe.
I am updating. I have added new entries to the Intel database.
Winston?
What's on your mind, May?
Do we have enough people for this mission?
As long as we stick together, we'll be fine. If you're going to show, now would be a good time.
Attention! This is your captain speaking. We are on final approach to Paris.
That's our cue.
You may now power on your electronic devices. Weather is mostly cloudy, with a 100% chance of Null Sector invasion. Winston, clear as a spot to land. We'll be right behind you.
You better be.
Why is Null Sector attacking now?
I don't know, May. But the people down there need help. And right now, we're all they've got. Bonjour, officer. We're here to help.
C'était un singe?
Good work, May.
Thanks! Watch your back!
Get the civilians to the ship.
You got it!
What was that?
Take cover!
She needs help. We can't stay here.
Tracer, get everyone out of here. I'll hold the line.
But you said to stick together.
Don't worry. I'll be right behind you.
You'd better be.
Let's get you back in the fight.
Interlock shield!
How are we going to stop this thing?
May, your backpack!
Huh? That could work! Trissa, pulse bomb! Here you go!
This is getting hot!
Ready!
Go on!
Right! Got it!
Victory is ours, my friends!
Hi, Lena. Brigitte? Oh my gosh, you've grown! Oh, everyone, this is May. Hi, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Reinhardt.
Good to have you on board.
Thank you.
Monsieur, does this mean Overwatch is back?
Yes. Yes, we are.
If you want to live in peace, you must be prepared for war. Before the crisis, Omnics were created to serve humanity. Obedient, yet disposable. But when their programming was overridden by a rogue AI, their core functionality was altered. They were forced to turn on their human creators. humanity responded with the formation of Overwatch. Their actions ended the crisis, and in turn, helped free the Omnics. But from the ashes of one conflict, another was born, as most of humanity would never see Omnics as their equals. Now, the Omnic resistance group Null Sector has emerged from the shadows to stand against humanity and fully liberate Omnic kind. The revolution has already begun.
Media, this is sometimes referred to as the Ice Age. In reality, this is still the Ice Age. We're still in it even today. Although a more proper scientific name for this is Quaternary glaciation, something that began approximately 2.6 million years ago with the appearance of the first glacial period, with many studies focusing on ice cores from Antarctica, establishing a kind of a cooling trend with at least two separate cycles, one being 41,000 years, one being 100,000 years, creating a somewhat repetitive pattern of ice sheet growth followed by decay, with the cycle usually varying between 80,000 and 120,000 years, 100,000 being the average. And from this graph you can actually see that the major glaciation finished approximately 12,000 years ago. But Earth was very likely even hotter than today, roughly around 140 to maybe 130,000 years ago, with the volume of ice even being lower than today. And this last interglacial period is of course super intriguing because that's when essentially a lot of different hominids lived on the planet, with early human ancestors and all of our cousins like Neanderthals and Denisovans coexisting on a slightly different Earth.
Six, nine girls wanna drink wine. Tell the man not to waste your time. If the man broke, the man he a joke. So you gotta get loose with the Henny and the Coke. 3, 2, 1, girls wanna have fun. If the man don't dance, he's done. Tell him move on, get the man gone. Now can I get a Coke with my rum? 3, 6, 9 girls wanna drink wine. Tell the man not to waste your time. If the man broke, the man he a joke. So you gotta get loose with the Henny and the Coke. 3, 2, 1, girls wanna have fun. If the man don't dance, he's done. Tell him move on, get the man gone. Now can I get a Coke with my rum? Chick a fake ID. Chick a fake ID. Chick a fake ID. 6, 9 girls wanna drink wine. Tell the man.
This is what
Ninja accidentally went live on stream. On March 2nd, 2019, Ninja went live to 50,000 live viewers who saw him like this. He wasn't responding to chat. This wasn't normal and something was wrong. This lasted for 15 minutes and people were leaving comments like this.
Meat Meals of History, Episode 5, the original tamale from the Aztec.
Don't let me win though. Alright.
Trending vegan stir-fried pebbles.
Press 3 buttons.
This Japanese guy moved to Mexico to learn how to make the best tacos in Japan. During his midlife crisis, he packed his bags and moved to Mexico alone. Despite challenges, he learned the language and culture and was mind-blown by the food. So he created a taco truck back in Japan with 2 of his Mexican brothers to honor authentic Mexican food. Their vibe is
spam. First spam.
Girls, the entrance to Lab X should be close to your location. From what I can tell, it's well hidden, so make sure to thoroughly search the area for it.
Gonna wreck that panzer hunt, sis. I'm on this one. Haltet die Augen auf. Feindkontakt. Badass and inspirational, Jen.
Listen, ladies. The secret elevator that will take you down to Lab X is disguised as an advertising pillar. When you find the pillar, look for 2 stickers with a skull on them. Press both stickers at the same time and the elevator will open.
I'm gonna take down that panther hunt.
Managed to keep this secret all alone.
I've looked, but there's very little information.
Hold on.
Okay, so...
Totally, Abster.
As I was saying, seems like you've got a lot of connections. That's a good sign. Means the Nazis are getting divided, right?
Guess so.
I mean, really, girls. Cuthbert Cocksmith? What the hell kind of name is that?
I know, ain't it just great? Wouldn't it be so cool to have an underground lair just like this?
Yeah, without all the Nazi stuff, that would be totally bodacious.
Night night. him!
Bringing out the big fucking gun, sis.
You can do this, sis! Thank you, Phil! Can't do this by myself, Soph. Give me a hand.
Ladies, got the last piece of the Lothar tapes defragmented. Listen up.
Ich habe einen Plan. Ich habe herausgefunden, wo sich die Terroristen verstecken. Wenn Berlin mich ausschalten will, flüchte ich mit Tutu in die Katakomben von Paris. Dort infiltrieren wir das Hauptquartier der Terroristen. Wir werden sie benutzen, um gegen die Treulosen zu kämpfen und Operation Aufstieg zu starten. Es wird vielleicht etwas dauern, aber glauben Sie mir, Generalmesser, am Ende werden wir siegreich sein. Im Vierten Reich!
That's the last of it. Abby out.
Ready for more, dude.
I'm down, so need assistance. I'm up and ready to go. I believe in you, sis. Thank you.
Taking out this one. Grenade! Take cover, Jess. Bleeding like a stuck pig here, Jess.
Whoa, that was so fucking cool, so. Hell yeah! You're doing great, so.
You got it. Attackieren Sie Grenade! Look out! Ich habe Verstärkung angefordert. Ihre Anfrage wurde abgelehnt, Kommandant. Keine Verstärkung verfügbar. Greifen Sie von der Seite an! Taking out the commander, Jess! I'm going for the super soldier.
What's the holdup, so? I need a hand here. Back in action and ready to go, sis. Keep up the good work, so. Strength stick. Keep going, so. Slaughter those pigs.
Achtung, ich ändere die Position!
So, I like when the time it would be when the volcano. Okay.
So, this is where Daddy's supposed to be?
I wonder if they've done experiments on him and shit. Guess it's best not to think about it.
I'm gonna take down that Panzerhund!
on for once, sis.
Wouldn't it be so cool to have an underground layer just like this?
Yeah, without all the Nazi stuff. Donations.
Stehen bleiben! Jawohl, Kommandant. Schicken Verstärkung.
Nazis going down.
needs to die.
Fuck! Bastards, get ready to fight!
No one's gonna want to mess with you now, sis. We're getting close.
How do you know?
I don't know. Just a feeling, I guess.
the first key.
Verstanden, Kommandant. Verstärkung ist auf dem Weg.
Hell yeah.
Okay, now open the computer for me.
We've opened the computer, Abby.
Got it. Security protocols of our computer system are super advanced. Give me a second, girls. Okay, computers act, girls. Listen, I found intel on Lothar's power armor. Looks really advanced. If you run into him, be careful, okay?
Come help me, sis! Take your damage! Back up on the horse, baby. Let's go. Back up, Jack. Keep going, so slaughter those pigs! Need a bit of help over here, Jess! I'm up and ready to go.
I'm gonna break that thirst order. Gonna take out that super soldier. Fight like a champ.
You got it. I believe in you, sis.
Thanks, sis. Gonna take out this Nazi asshole.
Power in the Nazi
feeling it, man. Hell yeah, dude.
What the?
Daddy?
Oh my God. Is this real? My babies. My babies. Oh. Back in the 60s, this was the only chance we had at stopping the Fuhrer. It could open doors to other places, but then one day it was gone. Anybody follow you?
I don't think so.
The Nazis hardly come down here unless they have to.
Didn't the Nazis capture you, Daddy?
No, Pumpkin. I'm hiding out down here on my own doing, trying to get the door back open and fix what I broke.
What do you mean? What did you break?
The world, so.
Oh, come on, Daddy. You killed Hitler.
Hitler designed some kind of doomsday device, got activated when he died. Fucker wanted to take the world down with him. Max was the first to notice it. Disruptions in the weather patterns, freak thunderstorms, hurricanes, the rains.
Why didn't you tell us?
Set's calculations only led to one thing. Someday soon this world would be unfit for human life. That's when I knew I had to find it. After Set died, his notes led me here. French Nazi lady tried to make me an errand boy for their cause, but I saw through her lies and I located this.
So use it, Daddy. Open the door.
I can't make it work.
Why?
I tried to use it like Set told me to, but the door was closed and I got hit by I seen a truth that made me question everything.
You're not making any sense, Daddy.
There's another dimension. One of hundreds. Separated from us by the vastness of time and space. Oh my God.
What is it?
It's another world where everything's all right and you're there living your lives like you're supposed to. It's a wonderful place. It's not like this world. This goddamn world is doomed because of me.
That's bullshit. You said something out on the plains.
Remind me.
When you look down that scope, your awareness narrows to the head of a pin. Remember?
Yeah.
Stop looking down that scope and start seeing what's around you. Whatever's in that other dimension, we live in this one, and we are gonna make goddamn sure it's a place worth living in. Just like you once did.
What if it's too late?
Then we keep fighting.
Together.
What do you need me to do?
This is from Set.
Holy shit. Channel energy from other dimensions.
What is it?
Jess, come here. Says it should be here somewhere.
What the hell is going on?
I'm getting you ready to mess up some Nazis real good, honey. Real good. Kill the Brants before they take to the skies. They get airborne, they'll be unstoppable.
Aren't you coming with us?
Nazis are gonna throw everything they have at you. I'm gonna stay here and hold them off. Go on now.
Ready for this, Kenneth?
More ready than you are, Arthur.
Zip it. Shit for Brian's.
Make me. Barf bag.
Tut mir leid, General Messer. Was haben Sie gesagt?
Sind wir soweit?
Jawohl, Herr General. Wir haben den Siegturm gesichert. Sie können jetzt den Angriff auf Berlin einleiten.
Mit Vergnügen, General Brandt. Heil dem Vierten Reich.
Heil dem Vierten Reich.
Ah, es ist so schön, zurück zu sein.
Ich habe mich auf dich verlassen, Juli.
Was?
Du solltest sie außer Gefecht setzen. Und du hast versagt.
Mein Liebling, wir haben es geschafft, oder etwa
Hast
nicht?
du irgendeine Vorstellung davon, wie demütigend es war, von 3 minderwertigen Jugendlichen überlistet zu werden?
Lothar,
Diese 3 verwöhnten Schlampen auszunutzen, war die einzige Möglichkeit, sich des Generals und der Überkommandanten zu entledigen und ins Labor X einzudringen. Ich habe hart für meinen Traum gearbeitet. Beinahe sind wir am Ziel. Und fast hast du alles zunichte gemacht.
Lothar.
Halt die Klappe!
Du liebst mich aber noch immer, oder?
Dreimal darfst du raten.
Nein. Nein.
Soldat, den ersten Aufstieg einleiten.
Jawohl, Herr General.
Die Geschwister Blaskowitsch sind in Anmarsch.
Verdammt nochmal! Jawohl, komm, bereit machen, Juju. Stell dich vor die Tür.
Ist es sicher?
Ich gebe dir Rückendeckung.
Lothar, ich mein...
Stell dich vor diese verdammte Tür!
Eine.
He's going to the roof.
For a match!
Abby, hey, come in, Abster.
Shit. Lost contact.
Ich bin so froh, dass du mich...
You can do this, dude. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.